Hey guys, Shelly here. Today we're going to be cooking and I've got a couple of things going, but I think I'm going to show you guys the shrimp and crab pie that I'm going to make today. Alright, so we were fortunate enough to get some fresh Gulf shrimp and some crab meat for Christmas. And so I've never made a crab pie or anything like that before, but I want to try it today. I'm going to make one that is going to be keto friendly and one that is not keto friendly. That one will be in a regular pie crust and have a little more carby stuff in it. So I'm about ready to get started. So let me show you what I'm doing so far. All right, so I have measured out 1 pound of shrimp and I'm just going to sprinkle some Old Bay on this, and I want to just kind of barely get these cooked. I've got a pan heating on the stove. All right, this is a non-stick pan, so I do not want to put any butter or oil of any kind in here because a lot of the water is going to cook out of the shrimp, and I want these to be kind of as dry as possible. So I might even have to like pour the liquid out of them after they cook. So I'm gonna let these cook for probably about 3 or 4 minutes. And over here, I've got half of an onion, 1 large clove of garlic, and I've got some celery chopped up. And that was about a 3-inch piece of celery that was straight from my garden. So that part is kind of cool. And I'm going to put them over here and saute those until they're soft. And then I will get back with you. Here we go. There's the pie crust going in the oven. I'm gonna pre-cook that for just a few minutes. And let's see. In here I have 4 eggs, 3/4 cup of mayonnaise, and I'm gonna add 3/4 cup of half and half. Over here I have cheddar cheese, mozzarella cheese, and freshly grated Parmesan cheese. So let me grab the milk, put that in there. And you know, I don't really measure a lot, so I'm just gonna throw some cheese in there. I want to keep some of this for the keto version. So I don't want to take it all, but the keto version will be smaller, so that's okay. And let's go over here to the stove. And here's our vegetables that have cooked down and are now soft. Here's our shrimp that are cooked, and I'm gonna grab the crab meat and mix it all in here while our pie crust is baking. So now I'm working on the keto version of the seafood pie. In here I've got 4 eggs. I've got the cheese that was left over, a half a cup of mayonnaise, and a 1/4 cup of half and half. We have our sauteed vegetables that I'm going to add to it slowly because I can only use one hand. And next we're going to add the shrimp that I've got sauteed here, and let me show you what this crab meat looks like. Beautiful, beautiful crab claw meat. Now I have gone through and picked out some of the shells that were in it. You're always going to have to do that just because it's really almost impossible to pick it all out. So I'm going to add all of these together, and I've got some crushed pork rinds that I'm going to add to it, and then we're going to get this in the oven along with the non-keto pie. Here's a super simple, easy, hands-off approach to cooking shrimp. I've melted some butter, added fresh garlic and some Old Bay seasoning, put it in my pan, and I'm just going to add the shrimp. And this is going in the oven for about 15 minutes. And this is just a super way to cook shrimp without having to stand over them and watch them. If you've got to do sides or something else and you want to toss the shrimp in the butter and seasoning, I'm going to add a few more. Then we'll put them in the oven. All right, so here is our final recipe for cooking shrimp today. And these I've just put in a pan with a little bit of bacon grease, and I have seasoned them with Old Bay. Let me show y'all the Old Bay. I've mentioned it a lot today. We use it for everything seafood. So again, I just want to cook these and cook the water out of them. See that? Because I'm going to be making shrimp Alfredo, and I do not want all that water in my Alfredo sauce. So I'm just going to cook these until they are cooked through and all the water is out of it. And then we're going to start our Alfredo sauce. All right, it's time to start the Alfredo sauce. So I've got half a stick of butter already melted in the pan, and I'm adding about a tablespoon of garlic. I'm just going to let that cook for a minute, just really quick. I've still got my shrimp cooking over here. Whoops, dropped y'all. I'm going to go ahead and turn those off because those are cooked. Let's see if I can set this tripod back up without dropping you again and getting my fingers in the way. There we go. All right, so I have this over medium heat. I'm going to go ahead and add 1 cup of heavy whipping cream and throw that in the dishwasher. I'm gonna grab another measuring cup, and you remember the liquid that I wanted to cook off of the shrimp? I'm just gonna get a little bit of that. Let's move the shrimp back out of the way. This is a half a cup measuring cup, and I'm not going to fill it up. I'm going to get about 1/4 of a cup of liquid. And look at all the liquid that's left in there. I do not want that in my sauce. But this is just almost like a seafood broth that you're adding to it. That's just going to add flavor to it. And I'm going to keep stirring this. We just want to heat this up really well. I'm going to add some pepper to it. And now the oven is going off because our pies are finished. So let me go check those. The pies are looking great. I've gone ahead and turned the oven off and just letting those sit in there for another few minutes. Now I'm going to add a cup of freshly grated Parmesan. I switched over to my flat spatula. We're just going to stir this in. And this is just going to thicken. And that is absolutely all there is to a really good Alfredo sauce. I mean, it is super simple. Anybody can do this at home. You don't have to buy the canned stuff that doesn't have any flavor to it. This is all you need. So I'm going to let this cook for probably about 4 minutes. 4 or 5 minutes. We'll just see how it thickens. I want it, you can see that it's still runny, but it will thicken up pretty quickly. And I just hit the camera again. Once this thickens to the way I want it, I'm just going to add my shrimp to this. And then if part of the family wants to eat it over pasta, they can. I'm not going to eat it over pasta. I do have some keto noodles that I might eat it over. We'll see. We have options, or you don't have to eat it over anything. You can just eat it as is. So let me let this thicken and I will bring you back in just a minute. All right, I've cooked this for 4 minutes, and I don't know if you can tell in the video, but this is thickened up nicely. And I wanted to just add a couple of things. One reason that I do not add salt to this is Parmesan is naturally very salty. So I did not want to over salt this dish. You can do that on your own once you plate it yourself if you feel like it needs more salt, but I do not add it to the sauce itself. Now the shrimp were cooked in the Old Bay, which has salt on it, so they have different flavor and they have salt as well. There was something else. What else was I going to tell you? Oh, I know what I was going to tell y'all. If you wanted to add another layer of flavor to this, you could begin by cooking some peppered bacon. Take the bacon out and leave some of the fat in the pan. And you don't want a lot of fat. I mean, maybe like a tablespoon to go along with your butter. Go ahead and cook everything. Once you have your sauce completed, it's hard to talk and do everything at the same time. Once you have your sauce finished and your shrimp in, you could crumble that bacon and put it on top, and it would be an absolutely delicious addition to it. I'm sure Commander Bacon would love that, but I don't have any bacon right now, so he doesn't get any. But that is another really good alternative. So there is our shrimp and Alfredo sauce, and I'm gonna go check the pies and get those out and show you some of the end results. And here's our last two. This is the easy baked shrimp scampi. And here's a serving of our shrimp Alfredo. So this is, I guess, 4 different ways. I mean, one is keto and one's non-keto, but 4 different ways to prepare shrimp. Kind of different from the standard boiled shrimp or whatever, fried shrimp. But it's a great way to use fresh shrimp, and I'm excited about eating some of it. So I'm gonna get off here and I'm gonna have lunch. See you guys next time.